welcome to a kind of delayed Travelin' Young. It's been super
so much has been happening.
Super busy lately. So this was meant to be a couple days ago, but we had to do some things with Maya because she took off and she's now in the U.S. with my parents
Enjoying herself.
Friends and stuff. So we had to say goodbye to her and help her. And I shot some video with her, not related to this video. That will come up pretty soon. Yeah. But yeah, so that was kind of occupying a ton of our time. So this Sankt Hans video is a little delayed.
Yes.
Another thing to mention, by the way, is so a friend of mine was telling me the other day, he said, Josh, did you guys stop making videos? Because when I get on YouTube, I don't see them. And I'm like, no, we do. And he said, oh, well, YouTube's algorithm is out of whack. Aww. And he didn't know. And I don't know why. So I'm going to tell you, subscribe and hit the notifications if you like our stuff. We'd appreciate it. And also because we're on the cusp of 25,000 subscribers. And we're almost to our 2-year anniversary. So I don't ever really ask for people to subscribe. But we're so close. It'd be really cool to celebrate 2 years with 25,000. And a lot of people watch our videos that don't subscribe. So it would be amazing if you subscribed and help us get to 25,000. And we'll celebrate with a live stream.
Yes.
Something to look forward to. Now, on with the video. Sankt Hans. I'm going to let Miranda here talk about the history.
I'm the history nerd. So, Sankt Hans was new for us when we moved here, and we've been slowly learning some things about it over the years. It's kind of an interesting holiday. So I thought I'd give you kind of 5 quick facts about it that you might not know. So the first is that Denmark has no official country day, which is kind of an interesting fact that I came across. And some people consider Grundlovsdag to be kind of the country holiday. But some people consider Sankt Hans Day to be the country holiday because it's just the biggest part of the summer. It's exciting, it's very hyggeligt and everybody gets together and kind of celebrates. But Sankt Hans is actually short for Johannes, which I also did not know. It's the short form of John, which makes sense because Sankt Hans Day is actually for John the Baptist. And it was a religious holiday until 1770. But of course, as so many holidays do, they started out as a pagan holiday. So way back when everybody was celebrating the summertime, the longest day of the year. And this was a day when people would go and actually pick herbs because they were supposed to be more medicinal if they were picked on these days. Or if people were suffering from different ailments, they would go find springs, medicinal springs, and go bathe themselves in the medicinal springs because they were supposed to be more healing on these days.
Okay, now you need to tell me about this part, which I think is the most fascinating, because the first time we did this, we were at a friend's, we were here in 2018, and there was a drought, and the bonfire is a big part of this. And they really limited how many bonfires people could do because of the drought, and it was like afraid of fire spreading. Yeah. So we're at a friend's house, and he just had a very small trash can with a small fire, in which he inserted a hand-drawn picture of a witch. And that's when we learned this was about burning witches. So please tell us about the witch burning, because in America, there's a not so great history of witches, but we don't talk about it to the point where we have a holiday celebrating witches.
Yeah, that was pretty shocking when we saw. I was like, what is in the little bonfire thing? He was like, oh yeah, that's the witch. And I was like, what are you talking about? But surprisingly, it actually does not relate to actual witch burnings. Now, there were people who were burned at the stake. Unfortunately, there were about 1,000 people in Denmark who were burned at the stake at various times. But it's actually didn't come around until the late 19th century, so like the late 1800s, and it's supposed to symbolize evil, and it's warding off evil spirits. So you burn the witch, and some people say that they go back to Witch Mountain in Blockbjerg.
Oh, that sounds like a ride at an amusement park.
In Germany.
Ride Witch Mountain.
So
Or a rock movie. Could be a rock movie as well.
That would be a rock. Rock was in that movie.
Yeah, I think it was.
So yeah, that was very shocking to us. We were not used to seeing that as part of festivities, having a witch burn. But hey, when in Rome. And the last thing is that it's always very traditional to sing Wie Esche Land, which is also called Midsommerwiesen, and it's basically just the midsummer song. And so kind of they started out singing very traditional songs with this holiday, but over time they kind of switched to a bit more patriotic songs, which I think is why some people kind of consider Sankt Hans Day to be a country day, kind of celebrating Denmark, which takes us to Tivoli, because they actually sang that at Tivoli.
Yeah, and so this year we did this, well, the last time before the pandemic, in 2019.
Yeah.
We went to Tivoli as well. And it's a cool place to go to see the bonfire because it's controlled. And there's also a random selection of people. And I remember there were some Americans, not this time, but the previous time, that were on a cruise and were there at Tivoli for the day. And they're like, what is this about?
Yeah.
So Tivoli's an interesting mix of people that understand it, random folks that have no idea what's going on, but they just follow crowds and, watch. So
they're what's happening?
And plus we love Tivoli. So here's some footage of our time at Tivoli this year watching the bonfire. So there's a funny story about this. I didn't fully capture this, but the guy came out on he rode out on a rowboat.
On a rowboat.
The firefighter guy who was in a firefighter outfit, but he also had a suit on under that. Anyway, he rode out. He lit it. He was far too optimistic. He rode himself away with another guy. And then after I guess whatever kindling they stuck in the center of it,
just went out.
And then went out. So then he's where everybody's what's going on? And then 5 minutes later, or it felt like an eternity, he came back again. Yeah. This time he had lighter fluid, and he stuck lighter fluid all over the thing.
And it was great because he was holding it up, and he was like,
he was trying to ham up the crowd. Gets it all over, gets onto the little platform that it's on, walks around, lighter fluid, lights it, goes away, and then that doesn't. It actually gets to the point where the flowers in the top start to burn, and then it stops.
No.
So then he comes back again, and this time he's full on halfway disassembling, trying to. This time he gets it right, but it was probably a 20-minute delay in the burning.
It was involved. I feel like there was another trip out there.
No, I think there were only
was there just three trips?
But I do think that the people were running out of things to sing to buy time as the guy keeps going. But
well, it was funny because they had these big old tuba-looking things, and the guy, the very first time he was lighting it, was having trouble getting it to light in the first place, and they just kept playing the same song over
do it
and
again,
over.
Do it again. And it's not a very long song.
No.
So it's quite repetitive. But anyway, this was it was almost a fail. And it was funny because some people were leaving. They said something at some stage, but it was in Danish and I didn't understand it. And I'm like, they're not going to give up on this.
Yeah.
They're going to figure this out. And eventually it lit, got on fire, and it became a story. So there was a slight Tivoli mishap on the bonfire.
And this is not to shade Tivoli. We love Tivoli. Yeah. They handled it beautifully. They did the best they could. And honestly, the fireman guy kind of kept everybody entertained.
I mean, but there were moments when we couldn't see around the bend to be are they coming back? What's happening?
See people clapping.
Yeah, we're I think they're clapping. He must be coming back again. So anyway, that was this year's Sankt Hans. So the first year we had this backyard witch burning thing.
Yeah.
The next year we were at Tivoli, and then we didn't do anything for 2 years because of COVID stuff.
Yeah, COVID, there was nothing. Yeah.
And then because they were calling off things, and then this year Tivoli flowers instead of instead of a witch.
Instead of a witch.
I think I want to go to the Fredericksburg Garden next time. That looks like a super cool thing. But it's tough when it's on a Thursday because we got to work the next day. And yeah, so if it falls on a Friday or a weekend, we can do more. But anyway, super interesting, new to us. Not now because it's our 4th year in, but the first time, Sankt Hans.
Yeah.
And we thought that we would share with you a little bit about what we think, and for people that don't know about it, back home or wherever that watch us now, you know a little bit about what Sankt Hans is.
Yeah.
And there you go. That's all we got.
That's all we got.
We'll see you. Bye.
Bye.